Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host Jay. I'm here with my co-host Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. Terrence should be on later in the episode, but he's not here right this second. So let's just get started. I guess we can just jump right in to check out. Micah, you watched all of Jimmy Carr's new stand-up, Natural Born Killer. What did you think?
Yeah, so Jimmy Carr is one of those, like, you like him or you don't comedians. He has a very, I'm going to stand up here and tell jokes, right? And then those jokes range from, offensive to Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with you, right? Like, that's the range. The problem with telling those type of jokes is that you can only tell those types of jokes so long before they start sounding the same, right?
Yeah.
And the beginning of this stand-up is classic Jimmy Carr, for better or for worse. It's those type of jokes. It's those, if you've never heard them before, delivered in the way that he delivers them, then you will be either shocked and appalled or think this is one of the funniest things you've ever heard. But I've seen enough of these where it's kind of like old hat now, right? Like, get a new gimmick. That's the first, third. The middle third is kind of getting into the same thing that all comedians get into right now, cancel culture and, his commentary on that. It doesn't last very long, but I'm just sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Like, comedians they're not breaking rocks, guys. They're not being persecuted. All right. Like, no one is, trying to kill them for saying their jokes. Right. Like, right. They're not being canceled. Okay.
No.
The ones who are too big to fail are the ones who are complaining about being canceled.
I literally saw an article where Jerry Seinfeld is like, "Oh, all this leftist PC crap is ruining comedy." I'm like, it's not, though, because all of you guys are working. Like, all of you are working and doing fine. Like, you're fine.
Right. Oh, you couldn't make a sitcom like Seinfeld today. Nigga, have you seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Have you seen Curb? Curb is on
TV. Like, they give, like, that show has been on for 15 years, and that's just Seinfeld, but the four principals are overtly degenerate. Yeah. Like, that's it. And I love that show.
I mean, they literally did a Seinfeld spoof episode because it's so similar in regards to that.
Right. So anyway, I need comedians, especially rich ones, to stop complaining about, they're trying to cancel me. Like, no, they're not. They're not. You're too big to fail. The last third is interesting because Jimmy Carr has, he's got a kid now, and when you have a kid, it changes you, right? It changes you to, like, a certain extent, right? He's still Jimmy Carr, right? But he tells this story about his premature baby, and I'm going to ruin a joke because I thought it was, I'm sorry, I thought it was funny. He tells this story about this premature baby, right? And they knew they were having a baby. They had to go bag. They had the baby's clothes. The baby came premature. The baby is super small. Got to get him new clothes, right? Baby. So he goes out to the store, grabs some clothes, and goes up to the woman, and she says, "Do you want to keep the hanger?" And he says, "Well, it's a little late for that."
That's funny. And that's who Jimmy Carr is. Yeah, that's a funny.
And joke. That's who Jimmy Carr is, man. And look, if you didn't find that joke funny, you're not going to find Jimmy Carr funny. But he said that.
I mean, look, that's a rough joke. As Bill Burr has,
abortion joke, yo.
Right? Like, as Bill Burr says, there is no fat on that joke. Like, you need every part of that to make it work. Like, 100%.
Right.
Jesus.
Right. But he said, he's like, but it obviously it changes you, but not that much. He was like, I still got it, right? I still got it. But he is being very introspective, and if you have any doubt that like this dude is not some sort of some sort of weird like red pill man, like he's not. Like
He's not at
his
all.
last no, he very much isn't. And the last third of this stand up really illustrates it. He does crowd work, but he focuses on one young man, and he's going over like rules of consent and things like that for like 20 minutes. And that's the best part of this particular stand up. It's something that's a bit refreshing. It's not the first third is very different from the last third.
All right.
And
Yeah,
it's worth finishing.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the beginning. My wife was not enjoying it, even though she likes Jimmy Carr. She just, again, like you said, it felt a bit repetitive to his other stuff, and I think maybe that's what she wasn't digging on. And I was like, all right, like if you're not enjoying it, like let's not watch it, right? And she hadn't seen Neil Brennan's Three Mics, so we watched that, which she thoroughly enjoyed. But yeah, I want to go back and watch it because I like Jimmy Carr a lot. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Speaking of like Jimmy Carr and like how much of what type of person he really is versus like the on-stage persona. There's a clip he did with I guess there's a podcast called The Diary of a CEO, and he was
I listened to that.
Yeah, and he was interviewed on that apparently recently. And he has this great, it's like a 5 or 6 minute bit of that, just about like the crisis that's going on with like young boys and stuff like that, because of the internet and everything else. It's actually very, very good. He is far from a red pill guy, but it's dope to see comedians like hitting these same sort of milestones as we're hitting them. Like, you know, at the same time, I mean, Carr's a little bit older than us, but you know, like obviously he waited a while to have kids, but Carr, Burr, Segura, like all of those guys, to watch their earlier stuff and then to see them as they've changed, but like the fundamentals of who they are still there. They just have like they got a little bit more perspective on
they grew up. They grew up a little bit,
which
right?
is what I would like to see from a certain comedian who just refuses to,
because he's too big to fail.
He's too
like
big to
what
fail.
you gonna do? What you gonna
and look,
do?
that's cool. Best of luck. I didn't watch your last one, and I won't. I have no desire to. But yeah, it's good to know that last bit was the last third of it was good. I'll definitely go back and finish it though, because I like Jimmy Carr. I do. He's got to chill on the plastic surgery though. He looks fucking crazy. It doesn't look. He looks like a different person. He looks like Jimmy Carr's brother. Yeah, or like that. He was. He looks like Jimmy Carr. Like I feel like he would appreciate how rude I'm about to be. Like it looks like Jimmy Carr was found dead, floating in a pool for a week, and they pulled him out, and then they were like, "Go do stand." Like he looks all bloated and fucking weird. It's like, dude, like it's odd. Please just stop. I'm not against people getting plastic surgery. I just think there's a line, like 2 procedures, and just let it go before you become a cat person. Like you're gonna end up looking like Panthro. Like it's not a good look for you. So next up, X-Men 97, episode 8. What is it? Tolerance is Extinction Part 1. What did Bo Tomato do to get himself fired? Jesus Christ, this episode was good. There's a lot going on. I feel like there's a lot of I don't want to say character building because that felt more so the previous episode, but there's a lot of sort of establishing of like all of these Sentinels and kind of the background of like what these Sentinels mean and how they're gonna, how they're being produced and all this other stuff. There's a lot of that. And then it gets going and it's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, this episode pretty much lays out Bastion's plan to eliminate mutants. You get a quick backstory of Bastion, and he's essentially a cyborg, right? And because he is part Sentinel, like he hates mutants, right? So you got to deal with the mutant problem. And like I said last week, he's kind of like an evolved combination of Nimrod and Master Mold, right? And it's wild seeing all of these. Like how many of these people, like, did these people volunteer? Or is he just like nabbing people and just like
he's just
making them
snatching.
sleep?
Right, he's just snatching them up.
I don't know. That's the only thing that I'm kind of shaky on. But this episode was great. He uses. I love charismatic despots in fiction.
Shocking.
I'm fascinated with fascism in fiction.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, this character is a real problem. Now, look, I'm no X-Men expert, but I know a little bit, and I don't know. There's so many ways that I can't believe this episode was as good as, well, I should believe by this point, right? Like all of these episodes have been stellar. Animation, action. They even let Wolverine pop his claws and actually do something.
But they've been using them right. Look,
they have, yeah.
Like he's a weapon. Like you don't focus him as a personality, right? Like every once in a while, maybe, what do you think, Logan? And then he grumbles, and you get fucking back to the normal people who are at a reasonable height. And when you need a guy to fucking tear shit up, hey, throw Logan in there, and he does exactly what he does best, and it's fun to watch. It makes him that much more special because he's not the hard focus of the series, which is really nice to see.
Yeah. Like Bastion turned his mom into one of these Sentinels, and like when you get turned into one of these Sentinels, they essentially lose their humanity, literally, right? Because Rogue touched one. When Rogue touched what's his name? I correct me if I'm misremembering. She couldn't feel anything, right? Like she couldn't feel any like thoughts or emotions or anything from them. They're just like husks. And he turned his mom into that. That's how much he hates mutants. And it's just he's a horrible person. Nightcrawler getting it in with the swashbuckling.
Yeah, so awesome.
And just a little change, like Nightcrawler using his tail to hold a sword, also like is fucking dope. And pulling, you see,
that scene, nigga, that scene was amazing, amazing.
It's dope, man. Everybody got a little something, right? Jubilee got her pre, I'm about to be a vampire outfit. Mm-hmm. It was sad when, they end up going to his parents' house and they're like, all you got to do is comply, son. Like, God, yo, mom, yo, you're the worst, yo. You're the worst.
Not being a mutant?
Like, Jesus Christ, man. But look, man, the Summers family. I mean,
Nick. What are they doing, yo? What are they like? It's like they watched all of the MCU, right? They just like, look, what are the things people want to see? You gotta have a working together scene. They're always fun, right? When they can play off each other. But to do like an action sequence and then they slide into the camera as like they finish kicking ass, I was like, that was the dopest shit I've ever seen. Like, those three characters working together, you've never seen that. Like, that was just so awesome.
The holy trinity of the Summers family, yo. Like, it's the Father, the Son, and and the Holy Spirit, like, right? Like, quite literally, right? And it is, I love the power usage in this show, man. Him driving a Porsche while Cable's on the back being a turret, and Scott is you gotta make a way through. So, and he's just using his optic blast to burrow a hole through, going full bore into the fucking mountain.
That was awesome. I did like that moment where he's like, you have a Porsche? And he gives him like that fucking smirk. He looks back just for a second. I was like, you dick. Like, you fucking dick. That was awesome. It was great. Also, come to find out, they've wrecked 3 Blackbirds like recently. Like Hank's not going to be pleased about this. Like, anyway, we got to go. Like, so
look, I personally would be remiss if I didn't talk about one of the cameos in this episode.
Yes.
And in that one line, and I'm not being hyperbolic at all, in that one line, this cartoon was able to get Doctor Doom more than any of those other movies did, right? Doctor Doom is a dick, but he's not like, look, just because I'm working with you on your evil plan doesn't mean that I'm going to condone your war crimes, my nigga. Like, what the fuck is your problem, yo?
Again, you love a fascist despot. Yes, I know.
I mean, in fiction.
Right.
And Baron Zemo was there. And look, man, you got to stop edging me. You give Doctor Doom a speaking role in your X-Men, and then you show Spider-Man.
Right.
Come
yeah,
on.
they're really being dicks, man. They're really being dicks. And it's like, what do you want to see? And look, I got to tell you, the way the episode ended was awesome, right? With Magneto saving the day, so to speak. At first, I thought I was like, they're not going to do the thing from the Ultimates, are they? Like, they're not going to do that. It was like, oh, okay, this is like a massive EMP. I got it. I was like, please don't move the poles because that would destroy everything. But it felt like a slight callback to that. But I did enjoy the idea of Magneto being like, you know what? We're done here. Like, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. So I guess that fixes the problem, at least temporarily, until they can figure out what to do. It is a bit of a problem because when you do an EMP, like the circuits are toast. Like that's the circuits on the whole planet. Like that's not just like for an afternoon. That's not how that shit works. This is not the Nebuchadnezzar in fucking Matrix. You do that shit, it's a wrap. Like
right.
So
Wolverine, he straight up was like, look, Magneto did what he said he was going to. He declared war, right? Because like you said, you released that electromagnetic pulse at the across the globe and shut down all, technology.
Yeah.
Like people gonna have a problem with that, right? Humans gonna have a problem with that.
Yep.
And the Magneto's just like, all right, nigga, like bring it.
Yeah. What are y'all gonna do? Now you don't have electronics. What are you gonna do to us?
See, and look, Magneto's obviously pissed, right? He has essentially fired the first shot against humanity on behalf of mutant kind, right? I will give humanity the benefit of the doubt and say they don't know what's going on with Bastion. They don't know that Bastion is like the puppet master behind all this, right? Mm. Humanity does, or Magneto does the CMP. Humanity's like, all right, well, we got to retaliate. Charles is back and he's going to be on that bullshit ass like, oh, well, no, we got to work together. Come on, man. We can't do it. That rift gets reignited, right? Between Magneto and Charles, right? And I got to imagine that Cyclops will have a breaking point, right? Where he's just going to be like, yo, Magneto was right. They even say it in the show. Yeah. Magneto was right. And that's a route you can go. You know what another route you can go is? What super team is there to help humanity?
Right.
The fucking Avengers.
Yep.
And if this leads to, I can easily see this conflict escalating so much that the X-Men have to fight a two-front war against the Brotherhood and the Avengers, right? Like this is a mutant problem. We will handle it. Captain America's like, well, when Magneto set off that EMP, it became a human problem, and now we gotta handle it. And Yo, there's so many things that can happen, man.
Absolutely.
I'm super excited for this. I can't believe how good this show is. What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do to get kicked off of this show?
Yo,
like, I hope that
it better be something bad too. I don't want it to be bad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want somebody to have to dealt with something, but it better be real bad so we can all go, all right, well, should I get that? Like, you know what I mean? It can't be some like, I would have allowed him to stay. Like, maybe wrote a letter, like a warning. I don't want that. I want people to be like, oh, he got to go away forever. Like, you can't work on any shows because the writing in this is so stupid good. Like, it just is. Like you said, it leads to a possibility of AVX. It leads to a possibility of schism, by the way, at the same time. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because you could easily see, it's not, Wolverine says, Magneto declared war. But it's not like he's not talking as in like, hell yeah, let's go to war with humans. He's not saying that, right? So, and he knows what's going on, right? And he also understands Magneto's side of things. So I could see him wanting to stick with Charles, and then Scott, like that getting to that breaking point and being like, you know what, fuck this. That
guy's lived forever and has seen war. Like, he's seen war. Right. And he knows that it's not like that's the one thing about Wolverine in this particular show that's always been constant. He's just like, I just want peace, man. I want peace because I am tired of all this bullshit, of all this. I've lived through so many different wars. I don't want to see another one, right? Yeah. And look, we're joking about this Beau DeMail thing. Obviously, there are other people involved in the show. Obviously, there are other writers. There's a whole crew of people who could keep this show moving forward. I don't want this dude to come back if he's a real problem. I'm just real curious why he's
yeah.
I'm just real curious.
I mean, look,
because he's tweeting about the show, right? Like, he's like, hey, watch this episode, watch this. Like, he's very obviously really, really proud of it. I'm just real curious. But if he's that much of a problem, like, stay away. But at the same time,
here's the thing. Him tweeting about it, he tweeted today. He tweeted something today. I'll mention what the tweet was in a second because I want to set it up with something that happened in the show and why he mentions it. I don't know if I feel like if you got fired because of some real dirty shit, you'd be really mad at Disney and you wouldn't want people, you wouldn't necessarily be out there promoting this thing, right? I mean, you may be proud of it, and I understand that, but I feel like you don't why do I want more people? Why am I, pushing people to give Disney more money and more eyes? You would think that he'd be mad about that, right? Now, maybe he's just a kind of a different type of person, right? Like, he's like an artist or whatever, and he's like, look, I still want people to see it because I think it's important. That could be his perspective. Or things could be softening. It could also be that. So I don't know.
Or he could be using this as a power play, right? To see how people, right? Because how like people throw out, like Tyrese throwing out, oh yeah, I would love to be Green Lantern, right? Like the big the guy playing Jack Reacher, I would love to play Batman. That would be something, wouldn't it? Right? Like, to try and get people to rally to him to
ginning up interest.
Right. But I'm just curious, man. I'm just curious. But look, either way, this first season has been stellar. Second season, I can't wait. Did it get picked up for a third season? I think it did.
It did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that
Beau DeMail wrote the first two seasons, or the vast majority of the first two seasons.
Yeah, let's just hope that this train keeps moving, man, because this is the most compelling shit. You said it last week or the week before. This is some of the best work that Marvel has put out, movies or otherwise.
Yeah, bar none, dude. I'm putting it in the top tier. Certainly. I don't know where in the list just yet, but I'm putting it in the top tier. If they can stick the landing on this first season, I think I think at this point, I think I could safely say it's the best series they've done, easily.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any episodes that I think are bad or lacking, right? No, I think if they stick the landing, that's going to be pretty goddamn impressive, and most likely they will. I don't see why they wouldn't. The one thing I want to talk about is the quote that he put out, or the tweet rather. B says at one point, like, he said something to the extent of that, you know, the idea. Let's see if I have it. Oh, B says, strange. The mystics of Tarmarge speak of absolute points, events that occur across all timelines. Cable could travel to the very moment Genosha fell, but time would stop him. Now, it's interesting because, like, he says strange, comma, the mystics, blah, blah, blah. And the person who wrote this capitalized strange as if it's Doctor Strange, which makes sense, right? But I heard it as like strange as just like saying the word strange, right? Like that's kind of strange, right? Like that's how I heard it. But the commertage part, like, is obvious, right? But that just means that that this universe is well aware of multiple timelines. And they're also, I assume, aware of who Doctor Strange is, and Doctor Strange is aware of them, right? That gives me an interesting pause about where this series ends up. And again, I said a couple of weeks ago, I think these are your X-Men stories. When these guys show up in live action, this is the prequel to all of that shit. They're not showing up in some like, let's all start over and let's all figure out who these characters are, and they're all just meaning. No, I don't think you're getting the original 5 and all this other stuff that I was hoping for long ago before this series came out. Now, who gives a shit? Do this. I think they just start here. Like, these guys come into the normal MCU universe, and it's like these are all their adventures that they had before. But Bo DeMeo tweeted out something to the effect of, time travel is not going to get us out of this. So don't look for some fucking Cable goes back in time and it's like, nope. I think moving the timelines is what gets them out of this. I think they're going to pull people. I think there's a chance that people get pulled in from other timelines, characters who have died. And when that happens, maybe they all come back together in the MCU proper at some point. It's probably not at the end of this season, but at maybe the end of season 3 or whatever when they do this. But I think that's how they do it, is pulling Gambit and these other characters from all these other timelines, and then they get dumped into the MCU. And then maybe that in that world they have to deal with the Genosha thing. I don't know, right? Maybe Genosha is just a thing that has to happen, obviously, according to this quote. So we'll see. It's interesting, though. Very, very interesting.
There's a brief blink and you'll miss it of what looks to be the sacred timeline in one of those things that, like, Cable is, like, they're all looking at like a hologram, a model. And I don't have the thing up right now, but it looks like there's like a secret timeline that they're looking at, and so yeah, stuff like that leads me to believe that, like, I think you might be hitting the nail on the head in terms of how mutants are introduced into the MCU. Like, these are the X-Men. Look, man, this show's really great. This show's really, like, it makes me want to pick up X-Men comic books. That's how good this show is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm impressed. I have to say, I'm thoroughly fucking impressed by it. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Yeah, I was trying to find that scene with them when they're talking, but yeah. Look, again, what did this guy do? Like, that's just the best question. What did this guy do, man? Like, it must have been fucking wild. It must have been fucking wild. All right.
And again, if this guy's a problem,
yeah, he goes
stay away.
Yeah, we don't need you back.
Yeah, like, before anybody comes up and is, you guys want this problematic guy to be here. No, I don't want anybody who's problematic to be anywhere near anything, especially things that are good. Because I want to keep, as I am being very selfish, I want to keep this stuff around.
Yeah, we, like, And again, I think there is a decent chance that off of the Jonathan Majors thing, they saw a problem, a potential problem. They were like, nope, we can't afford this news again. Now, it may be that that's not as bad. It may not have been as bad as someone said. It may have been blown out of proportion. I literally don't know. But here's what I will say. When people are like, bring him back, I'm like, you don't even know what he did. You don't know what he did.
Right.
Like, slow down. Like, you're using the enjoyment of media as some sort of, like, protective shell around his possible behavior. Like, nah. I mean, we're just joking about, like, what did he do? I mean, we do want to know, but I'm not advocating like bring the guy back anyway. Like what if this guy's a rapist? Like what do like
right.
Then you look crazy advocating that shit. I'm like, just again, pump the brakes, wait and see. If you get any information, who knows? But I do find it curious that this guy is tweeting shit out. Like I do find that curious.
The thing I was talking about is at 4 minutes and 36 seconds. If you have it up.
4 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, it happens pretty early in the...
You're 100% correct. It's the fucking timeline with 2 points. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Damn, I totally missed that.
I mean, it's like with this show, like you have to like be hyper, like you have to be like, look at every little detail now. Mm-hmm. Like I saw a news story, not a news story, but people who pay way more attention than I do to these things. They had a little love story in the show, right? Where you see these two random mutants and they obviously are digging each other. And then in the next scene, in Genosha, they're all like, they're wearing each other's clothes, symbolizing that they're in a relationship together. And then in the aftermath of the tragedy, you see one of them just distraught, and you don't see the other one. It's fair to presume that they died. Right. And it just is little stuff like that, man. DeMeo went out and said, hey, see if you can find Bastion in previous episodes. He's in every episode except for like 3 of them in like little cameos somewhere. And it's just little Easter eggs and stuff like that for people who are like hyper nerds.
Yeah.
And I'm not a hyper nerd. I just like this stuff. But yeah, man, this is fucking dope.
It is.
Just looking at the Summers family, just fucking kicking ass and taking names, and
that scene was so good.
looking at Nightcrawler.
That scene with Nightcrawler and Wolverine was awesome, man. Like it
really was, man. It's so cool to see like Nightcrawler in action. Yeah. Look, you say what you want about those X-Men movies. That second one, the beginning of that second one, come on, man. Like,
yeah, you got to give credit. You got to give credit as much as I don't want to Bryan Singer. That scene is dope.
Yeah, man.
It's probably the best scene. If I'm being honest, it's probably the best scene in all of the X-Men movies. Like, it just universally, and it still looks good. Like, it still looks good in live action. And also when the fucking Blackbird got torn apart in that same movie, and I forget which character was like falling out of the jet who couldn't fly, and Nightcrawler fucking just bamfed out of the Blackbird and caught him in midair, and then bamfed back in. I was like, well, fuck you. Like, that character is good. Like, this shit just looked good. So yeah, it was cool. Sunspot finally showing off his power set, which was awesome.
Jubilee mad because she can't fly and literally everybody else can.
Yep. Yeah, it's good. By the way, this design of Nightcrawler, I think should be how they adapt him into live action. I appreciate all the scarring and stuff of like the detail of all of that. He needs to be much simpler. Like, he doesn't need to be an overly complex looking character, and the way they sort of shadow his face and stuff like that in the cartoon, I don't know how well that would work in live action, but it's a very cool look. And whenever you get around to doing Mystique, please stop doing the fucking nudity thing. It's weird.
Yeah, that wouldn't work, but in live action, I don't think. But you're right. You don't need all that extra texturing and all that. I mean, maybe it looks good on camera, right? To prevent it from just looking like Dr. Manhattan but at the same time, like, use a different kind of paint. Like, you
Yeah, it's
don't
a
need
lot.
all that. You
It's
don't
a
need
lot
all
of
that
work.
extra. You don't need all that extra stuff,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But
And
what do I?
look, and he needs to be a swashbuckling character. That's who he is fundamentally, right? Like, just you got to have that shit, like, because it makes him unique. Like, it's like this dude with a German accent who's like a hardcore religious person, but also a complete psycho badass when he needs to be. Like, yeah, like, come on, man, just do it. So yeah, look, again, another win. And look, as DeMeo said, like, these last 3 episodes are just like balls to the wall, like, they're not fucking around.
These episodes are too fucking short, man. These episodes are too fucking short.
I'm like, can I have another half hour of this, please? All right, let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna get into topics. All right, topics. Micah, take it away.
Amazon announces a date and details for Tyler Perry's first film in his 4-film contract. Wow. I thought
That's
this
why
was
I
going
put
to
it
be
there
a
because it was a ridiculous thing to know.
true to his style. Perry directed and produced the film based on his own script. Wish this ad would get out the way. Amazon has revealed release date for Tyler Perry's second film under his 4-picture deal with Amazon, Divorce in the Black, starring Megan Good and Corey Hardrick. It's set to premiere on Prime Video July 11th.
What?
Yeah, he wrote. It's a Tyler Perry movie, so he wrote it and produced it and shot it, and it's all him. The story revolves around Ava, a young professional whose life falls apart when her husband Dallas suddenly leaves their marriage, determined to salvage what remains. Ava sets out on a journey to save her relationship, only to uncover Dallas's hidden misdeeds that not only ended their marriage, but also hindered her chance of finding true love. Why would you want to? Well, I know why. Religion.
You already know.
All right. Tyler Perry's collaboration with Amazon Studios was announced in November 2022, and all 4 movies under the deal will be exclusively released on Prime Video. Prior to his partnership with Amazon, he had been working closely with Netflix to release Jazzman's Blues and what was that Ashtray Bitch movie? A Fall from Grace.
Yes.
All right, the rest of this just kind of goes into what Tyler Perry has done. While Tyler Perry's collaboration with Amazon Studios marks an exciting new chapter in his career, it does not mean exclusivity with the streaming giant. Perry is currently directing 688, a World War II drama featuring Kerry Washington and Oprah Winfrey. This is about those female. Soldiers.
Oh boy.
And
Kerry Washington, is she going to be one of the soldiers?
Yeah, I believe she is going to be one of the soldiers. Look, I've heard.
Are her arms big enough to pick up a gun? She's a very tiny person. Like, she only eats popcorn and drinks red wine. Like, she doesn't have the protein intake to pick up a gun. That's crazy.
Look, the 688 was a story that sounded interesting. It showcases the contributions of the 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion, an all-black, all-female battalion in World War II. That seems interesting on its surface.
I'm mad at that.
God, but Tyler Perry's doing it, so I don't know. Maybe this will be one that's really good. Well, okay, maybe this will be one that's good.
Sure.
But yeah, Kerry Washington as Charity Adams, Sam Waterston, Susan Sarandon, Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, all right. Look, Tyler Perry's got another movie coming out. We'll probably do this on Black Cinema one day.
It's gonna be good.
I'm looking at this picture of this dude. I don't like his mustache. It's like thick on the ends and thin in the middle. That's weird to me. And Megan Good is still fine.
I don't like that at all.
No, it looks terrible.
It looks like you can't grow a mustache. And look, mine is not. I don't have a fucking Saddam Hussein caterpillar or anything, but the shit is filled in. Like it is. That's not a good look. I don't like that at all. Please stop doing that.
Yeah, I don't like that, man. It looks like you're a little kid, man. Like just either clean shave it or I don't know, man. But it looks weird.
Yeah.
This movie's gonna be fucking ridiculous. Divorce in the Black. Even the name sounds ridiculous, but hopefully it'll make sense when you watch the movie. But
it's gonna be like a weird financial thing, right? Divorce in the Black. Like before we got divorced, we were in the black. Like financially, we're doing good, and now I'm not. Or some other fucking stupid shit.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Because they didn't say what she does, but she's a young professional.
Oh, all right. So she's like an accountant or some shit.
Probably. But Dallas, her husband, suddenly leaves their marriage, but she really wants to be married to someone who doesn't want to be married to her for some dumb reason. Because Tyler Perry doesn't know how to write women.
He doesn't know how to write men either.
Only to uncover Dallas's misdeeds. Yo, if someone says you want a divorce, you say, hey, let's talk about it. And if they're adamant about it,
let it go.
Like
it's
let it
unfortunate.
go.
Yeah,
especially if you look like Megan Good, guys. If you look like Megan Good and you really want to be in a relationship with somebody, I'm pretty sure you can find someone to take you.
Yeah, someone from the 1950s, like a 1950s time traveler. Found himself getting in trouble because he didn't understand these new age laws that you couldn't throw a woman into a truck. Weird. I can't believe she's still with him. Like, we don't care anymore. You guys can do your fake relationship and break up. Just let it go. All right, next up.
So Tyler Perry is also an actor. He played legendary black detective from literature, Alex Cross, at one point. I believe Terrence saw that movie, and he took his mom to see that movie.
Yeah, he said he was embarrassed.
Like, hey, look at all this clout. We got free movie tickets, right? Let's go see Alex Cross. And let's see big ass Tyler Perry, big ass dad bod Tyler Perry fight the dude from Lost.
Yeah.
On steroids.
Yeah, Matthew Fox.
I bring up Alex Cross because Amazon has a series starring Alex Cross, the character, and that character will be played by Aldous Hodge. If you're listening to this show, you'll probably recognize him as Hawkman in the critically
panned.
there you go. Critically panned Black Adam. I forgot the name of the movie for a second. My brain was trying to save me.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
Look, the reason why this is a story is because this series got renewed for a second season, and the first season isn't even out yet.
No, worse than that. First season doesn't have a release date yet. It's not like, it comes out next month. Just so you guys, they're like, this shit is good. Don't worry about it. We got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, if it's along the lines of those other Alex Cross movies, not Alex Cross, not the Tyler Perry one, which apparently was terrible, but Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider. If it's as good as those two with Morgan Freeman, okay. I mean, works for me. This is Amazon's thing. Take a bunch of long-running literary series and then just fucking adapt the shit out of them.
Yeah. They did it with Reacher. Reacher proved to be pretty successful. I haven't watched that second season yet, but
it's fun.
I'll get around to it.
No, they did it with Reacher. Bosch. There's another one they did it.
All right. Cross that's the name of the series, is described as a thriller series, while Cross himself is said to be Cross is described as a thriller series, while Cross himself is said to be Cross brilliant, flawed, and full of contradictions. A doting father and a family man, Cross is single-minded to the point of obsession when he hunts killers. He is desperate for love, but his wife's murder has left him too damaged to receive it.
Yeah, the simposity is running pretty high in this character. This guy wants love. What a loser.
What a bitch.
Yeah. Stay at home, live in your mom's basement like a real man. Everyone.
Isaiah Mustafa and Ryan Eggold will star with Hodge in season 1, along with a bunch of other people. I say Isaiah Mustafa's name because you know who Isaiah Mustafa is?
Yeah, I know who he is. He's the guy from the Old Spice commercials.
Yeah, he's the I'm on a horse guy.
Yep.
Who wanted to be Luke Cage at one point.
Nah. Look, you already know my feelings on the casting of that character. I have a single requirement, and him and the guy who played him, they don't make it. Like you gotta go to the hood, find a hood actor. They ain't. Again, look, I'm not even mad about Method Man. Method Man could have played him. Like I would have been fine with that. He wants to play Bishop. I'd be like,
he wants to play Bishop.
I don't know that I'm that mad about that actually.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I like.
You know who I always imagined a Luke Cage would be. You familiar with this guy who's like, he's got this real deep voice, and he says like his catchphrase is like sensational. You ever see that guy? I'll have to show you something. I'll have to show you something he did.
Is it Future?
No. He's just some random guy, right? He's just some random dude, but he's got like Luke Cage vibes to me.
That's so funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll forward you something that he's done.
No, not this.
But
all right. TikTok, not that guy. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Luke Cage. I'm actually kind of interested to see what they do with that, especially post whenever this Daredevil series pops off. But as far as Cross goes, look, they did it. Like I said, they did it with Reacher, obviously most famously at this point. They're doing Alex Cross. They did it with Jack Ryan. They did it with Bosch. They did it with the Terminal List with Chris Pratt. That's based on a series as well. I didn't realize that until I read this article. But yeah, this is like Amazon is very smart. They're like, why don't we take something that has a massive built-in audience of adults, right? Not of kids or young people that can, like, on a whim they stop watching a series. But older people just like, oh shit, I read all those Bosch books. I'll watch 12 seasons of this. Like they just do. Yeah, it makes sense. Who the fuck is reading the Reacher series? Right? It's older midlife to slightly older folks, or like maybe early 30s people, right? So generally, if they find a series of books that they really like, if you make a TV series and you put money into it and you make it like decent to great, yeah, they're gonna watch it. They don't. Young people tend to be like, nah, fuck this. I'm out after one season or half a season. Their attention spans tend to be a little bit shorter. So it makes total sense to mine this shit. Like, I didn't realize until recently that Bosch series was still going on. I watched maybe the first season of it. Dude, Bosch came out. It says, okay, so they made the series. I think it went 5 seasons or something like that. Then they did a spin-off series called Bosch Legacy with the main character and like a couple of other new people. Then they're doing a second spinoff starring Maggie Q as a cold case detective. Like, yeah, 3 series out of that book series. Okay. Jack Ryan got what, 3 seasons? 3 or 4 seasons? I think 4, right? They got 4 seasons, and now it's getting a Rainbow Six spinoff. And I mean, most likely, you could count that terrible Michael B. Jordan movie Without Remorse. That was also a spinoff out of that series too. So like, they know what they're doing. I mean, Without Remorse was not great, but they know what they're doing as far as making these series and hitting this exact right audience. So Cross makes total sense. I hope it's good. None of those shows I just named you were bad. So I suspect that they'll be able to nail those two. I'm actually surprised they didn't. Oh, they did mention Jack Reacher. I was going to say, it was like your biggest show. And I'm sad that that show has ended because it was really, really good. It started getting ridiculous, but I enjoyed it. All right. Next up.
Okay. The long gestating live action Masters of the Universe film is finally getting a release date. Amazon MGM has dated the Mattel film for June 5th, 2026
Never getting this
for a worldwide theatrical release. The film will follow, according to its synopsis, a 10-year-old Prince Adam who crashed to Earth in a spaceship. Why's it got to be on Earth, yo? Like, just do a Masters of the Universe in whatever, on Eternia or whatever. A 10-year-old Prince Adam who crashed on Earth in a spaceship and was separated from his magical power sword, the only link to his home on Eternia. After tracking it down almost 2 decades later, Prince Adam is whisked back across space to defend his home planet against the forces of Skeletor. But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
That sounds fucking stupid. And I know that is what the series is. And I'm not even mad about it. Like, I like the cartoon and all that other shit. But like, reading it out loud sounds fucking bad. He's going to become the He-Man. Like, oh, great. Good job, everybody. This writing is excellent.
Travis Knight is directing from a script from Chris Butler. Mattel Films is Robbie Brenner and escape artists Todd Black, Jason Blumenthal, and Steve are producing. Okay, and then it just goes into the history of the Masters of the Universe brand. Okay, look, infamously, this was a line of toys that needed a story so that kids would want to buy them. Right? Because, like, who's just going to buy a bunch of muscle men with disparate parts all connected to them?
Right.
You need kind of a hook, right? And look, Masters of the Universe is not really my thing. I tried watching that new cartoon from Kevin Smith.
I liked it,
and it was fine. It just wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. It didn't hold my interest, but there's a huge lore. There's a convention called PowerCon. The only reason I know that, well, the two reasons I know that are, one, we have a big He-Man fan that we know, and two, I used to work for a company called PowerCon, and when Demetrius told us about, this He-Man convention he was going to, and said the name, I'm like, what, nigga? Like, that's the name of a switchboard place, of a switchgear place in Severn, Maryland. What are you talking about? PowerCon. You don't want to go there dressed as He-Man, bro. Yeah. Like, yeah, they will treat you like you just walked into a sundown town. And then be scared because, like, you bigger than them. Yeah, of course. But look, man, I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna write this off completely. But I will say that I will need to be thoroughly impressed if you want my $20 for a 46-year-old Micah to go see a He-Man movie. I don't even like saying He-Man.
It sounds weird, yo. It sounds again, like the synopsis of the series sounds nuts. Like, it just sounds nuts. Look, you never know, right?
Yeah, of course.
I did not think that the Kevin Smith thing needed to happen. I was like, seems like a weird choice, and then I saw it and I was like, this is actually really good. I actually was really digging it. It was kind of fun. So I don't know. Maybe it'll super work, and it'll pop for people in a way that we weren't expecting. 2026 is a long way away. That's all I'll say. So we'll see if the interest is still there after all these years.
I mean, for me, maybe my son will really be like into He-Man or whatever, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Then I'll have to watch it.
Dad, I can't get enough of this He-Man series. Like, there's got to be something else on TV. Turn this off.
He's into Star Wars, Young Jedi, and
yeah, that's his shit.
Yeah, that's his shit, to the point where he's fucking quoting the shit, and I'm like, all right.
Bro,
What's
I didn't name you Leonardo. I didn't name you Leonardo. Get back to work.
Exactly. Chris Hemsworth takes the blame for Thor: Love and Thunder failure. Quote, I got caught up in the improv and wackiness and became a parody of myself. It wasn't just you, bro. It wasn't just you.
No. But I agree.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Goes for the win, guys. Chris Hemsworth is on the cover of Vanity Fair this month, where he revealed that he feels Marvel fans deserve another Thor movie after the whiff that was Thor: Love and Thunder. Quote, I got caught up in the improv and the wackiness, and I became a parody of myself. I didn't stick the landing. While Hemsworth has always been grateful for his career-defining role as Thor, he admitted to the publication that he grew frustrated with the character while playing him for 4 standalone Marvel films and additional Avengers movies. Sometimes I felt like a security guard for the team. I would read everyone else's lines and go, oh, they've got way cooler stuff. They're having more fun. What's my character doing? It was always about, you've got the wig on, you've got the muscles, you've got the costume. Where's the lightning? Yeah, I'm part of this big thing, but I'm probably pretty replaceable. For what it's worth.
It's kind of a sad thing to have him say, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, especially because, like, in the Avengers, in movies that aren't his movie, he's great, right? In those two, in Infinity War and Endgame, he's got a really great arc.
Infinity War, very specifically, that's his movie. Yeah, honestly, it really is.
Yeah, and he is, and then throughout Endgame, he's depressed, and he becomes a character, man. And then it's just this tonal shift, man, that, I enjoyed Ragnarok. I haven't gone back to watch it, but Love and Thunder was just a complete, like, tonal shift to the point of it's kind of like Whiplash, man, where this character didn't grow. He regressed, right? To the point where in What If, they did What If Thor was just like a bro dog, and it's like, what do you mean, what if? Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, it was a waste of time to even do that. Yeah, I don't look, I think I agree with him that it almost became a parody of itself. I think they were having fun and they were just goofing around. But yeah, like, if you want to go back, I think obviously, I don't know how anybody could disagree with this, but maybe people have difference of opinions. But I think Ragnarok is by far the best of his movies, of his solo adventures. People are like, it needs to be super dark. If they're gonna fix it, no, it doesn't. Ragnarok wasn't super dark. It just doesn't need to be a fucking goofball comedy, right? Like, it
doesn't need to be a Saturday Night Live skit, bro.
Right,
like, that's it.
There's not Love and Thunder or Mississippi Dam, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a depressing movie and you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's so dark and heavy. You don't need all of that. Like,
right.
Ragnarok worked because it was exploring, who he was. It was having fun with the sort of goofball antics of him being thrown onto this planet and stuff, but it was a good mixture of what that character ended up being in Infinity War, right? And maybe if you want to say it needs to be a little bit more serious, then take the route of Infinity War, right? It's kind of like Superman. If he can do everything, figure out his vulnerability and exploit it, right? Maybe take Hemsworth's, thoughts to heed what he's saying right here and saying like everyone just sees him as this big muscle bound guy with no emotions. Explore that then. Like that's how you could get to the character, because Hemsworth and that character are like, they are linked at this point. Like he loves that character so much. He seems to have fun doing that character. Fine. Then do a story where Thor is kind of like, he's lost Jane, right? He's in a world where he doesn't have Tony or
he's lost Jane. He's lost his brother. He's lost his father. He's lost his sister. Like he's lost his mother.
Yeah,
like
he's lost
family
everything.
is his Achilles heel, right?
Yes.
Like his
absolutely.
and him trying to find this he needed to be. I know they gave Valkyrie. They let Valkyrie be the king of New Asgard. I feel like that role should have went to Thor simply because I know this makes me sound like a fucking dickhead, right? Like,
It does.
This woman can't lead. No, of course she can. But I feel like that role should have went to Thor, because Thor needs a family, right? Like he needs people around him as a character in these movies, right? And he needs to be able to, and you can explore the whole, like, well, I don't know. I don't know.
Here you go. Here, shooting from the hip. Here's how you solve that, right? I agree with you. Thor needs a family. He has lost all of his family. So what do? Family is either blood or family is our friends, right? Your chosen family. You already have, what's his face? Hercules is already now in the universe. Hercules is set up as sort of a quasi-villain of sorts. Like he's not really a villain, but he's kind of being set up as like, go deal with Thor for me type of shit. You got Hercules, and bring in a person that people have been wanting since Thor 1 came out. Beta Ray Bill, right? And have those three in some sort of someone on the outside who is kind of pulling the strings to get these three guys to fight. And for the first time, since all of this shit has gone down, all the people he's lost, he ends up befriending these guys. And they end up, you got three big muscle-bound dudes, and they're all kind of alone in the world being used as weapons, right? And so here you have these three guys come together, and then they end up as sort of this found family. That's how you do it. And also, who doesn't want to see Beta Ray Bill, Thor, and Hercules have their Summers family fucking working together scene? Because then you could really throw down. And look, you can play it as more of like three brothers who are like kind of competing against each other, right? Like who's the badass one or whatever. Like you kind of have that. And also Thor has a kid, right? So there could be like a weird, like, maybe you shouldn't fight them. Like, I kind of see them as my uncles type of thing. And it, like, that can be use that kid now as sort of his, like, living consciousness, right? Like, you could do some stuff like that without making it so dark and fucking dank like fucking idiots want. Make a story. You can have it be fun, but ultimately, you're right. His family is his Achilles heel. Solve that. Like,
yeah.
And
he even lost his friends, yo. He lost the Warriors. He lost the Warriors 3 and Sif. Like literally everyone that meant anything to him is dead.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Jesus
unreal.
Christ.
Yeah. The guy had to damn near go relive his mother's death when he went back.
Right.
Which is one of the most powerful moments in that fucking movie. Like, it's not an action scene. She's like, he's like, Mom, I want to tell you. She's like, no, you can't. You can't do that. Like, you can't tell me what's going to happen. Like, you just got to let this shit happen. And he felt horrible. He had to watch his mom go off to die again. Like, this guy has had a level of tragedy. Build it back by giving him a new family. They tried to do that sort of with Guardians, but it didn't really make sense. Like that's Peter's family.
Like,
That's Peter's family. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So
That I don't know, man.
give him something.
I don't know.
Give him something to do.
I wouldn't mind another. Don't get me wrong. I don't need another Thor movie.
I don't either. But I think he should get a proper ending.
If you're going to do it, then go out with a bang.
Well, look, give him his final movie. Fucking solve that issue of like no family and all that other shit. He's probably going to be in another Avengers movie, right? And then at the end of that, he's like, guys, you look like you got it. It's cool. I'm going to go be the All-Father. I'm out of here. And then, he's just like, so at the end, his brother is holding the fucking timeline together and he's the new Odin level character. And they're gone. Right? So so give this guy a way out that makes total sense and respects all he's done, which would be fun. And people keep saying, oh, they should bring back Loki. No, they shouldn't. No, that story is done and it's meaningful.
Yeah, man. Like you can't. God, I know change is hard, man. I really know change is hard, but sometimes you got to know when to end a story. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it that thing you sent me where someone's like, hey, James Gunn, why don't you guys do a revival of Justice League or of JLA, just like Marvel's doing with X-Men? He's like, no, X-Men is great. Just let them do that. We don't need to copy them. And it's like, that's why you don't listen to a bunch of random fans. Like, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then you'll bitch and complain that DC doesn't do anything original. Like, you can't win. You can't win.
Right.
Doesn't make sense. All right, let's take a quick break and come right back. All right. Next up in topics, just real quick, Dan Snyder, not the one from the Redskins, or excuse me, the Commanders, the one from Head of the Class, and the subject of the documentary Quiet on the Set, he sues the producers of that docuseries over in the investigation, or over the investigative series, basically saying, they falsely implied that he was a sexual predator. He was like, I'm not. I haven't watched the series. Terrence watched the series. He was like, wasn't looking good for your boy. So I don't know, but considering like they don't have any hard evidence, like that maybe this guy's a creep, I'll give you that. But no hard evidence, I don't think, that he actually sexually abused anybody. Yeah, he's about to get super paid. He's about to get super paid over this. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you should probably not do shit like this if you don't have hard evidence. You know what I mean? Like, you better, like, or just leave it in the, like, nebulous region. Otherwise, you're going to get your fucking head sued off. But, they should. I mean,
did they? I'm fine with it. Did the documentary flat out say he is?
I don't think so. I think, but what he's saying is
implication.
It says falsely implying that he's a sexual abuser.
Well, guess what, man? That's the word, implying. Like, I don't know how successful your case is going to be if it's just an implication, right? Like, they didn't say you did it, and the law is very pedantic. Like,
it should be. Now keep in mind, like, March 19th of this year, quiet on the set, Dan Snyder apologizes for behavior depicted in Investigation Discovery docuseries. Well, if you apologize,
why'd you apologize, bro?
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, I feel like somebody told him, yeah, you should sue these guys, and I'd be like, but there's an article in Deadline. If you apologize, then that's not. Yeah, you might have messed up.
So you admit that your behavior was inappropriate at best, and yeah, man,
yeah.
Nah, yo.
I mean, quote, me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and I regret. I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology. They gonna throw that quote directly in your face in the courtroom, like,
yeah, yo,
super hard. So,
okay, bro.
Yeah. All right.
I don't wish you luck at all.
I mean, look,
I don't wish you luck at all. Get the fuck out of here.
I hadn't read
Don't
that
fuck with
quote.
kids, man.
That's a disastrous quote. You know what? I
Yeah,
take it back.
yo.
You're fucked. You're not gonna win that case. No.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. Don't fuck with kids, man. Don't.
Yeah.
That's a sore spot for me. Don't fuck with kids.
Should be a sore spot for everybody.
What the fuck, yo?
I mean, it's not, it's not a sore spot for everybody. I mean, some people are Canadian rappers. Anyway, got your ass baked on a Tuesday by a dude using 5 different beats and 5 different voices. It was amazing.
I haven't heard it. I don't. Is it worth listening to? Because I really don't care about. I don't care about people and their aggressive poetry. Like, is it really that?
Here's the thing. Look, millionaires and billionaires doing battle poetry at each other is always funny to me. But it's good. It's what it is it's good to listen to Drake's. Like, it's good to listen to Drake's because you're like, oh, okay, this is a diss track or whatever. And then listen to Kendrick's and it's like, oh, because Drake's is like, you're really short and you wear small shoes. And Kendrick is like, you want to fuck kids. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And you're not black. You're like, God damn. These are not the same level of comments. Like, they're brutal, dude. They're brutal. Like, Drake's cover image for his diss track was like, I believe it was like a shoebox with like a size 7.5 shoes or whatever. I'm like Kendrick Lamar can't help what size he is. Like, he's a little guy, whatever. Like,
yeah, you can help not being, not like wanting to cuddle up next to children,
Like Kendrick's title of his was called Euphoria, which is the show that, is about teenage girls. Which Drake kids, but Drake is a producer on that show, apparently. I didn't know that. So it's like, it's like a double entendre, like, interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, he even says, to paraphrase one line, and I'm not a rapper, but what does he say? Like, I make music to move people, you make music to pacify people. I could use that as a double entendre, but I'm going to leave it alone. I was like,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think you should have picked this fight. I'm just saying, like, I don't think you should pick the fight. I'm enjoying it. By all means, look, got your ass torn up by Pusha T last time, so this is not for you. This is not for you. As Terrence would say, this is not your ministry. So look, a lot of people have said this following person does not embrace their black culture, but I disagree after reading the story. The Rock embraces his black culture in a big way on the set of Red 1 by being extremely late all the time. A new report claims that The Rock was late on the set of Red 1 and other projects, sometimes to the tune of 5 to 8 hours. That's not late. That's early for the next day. Like, you can't be late for 8 hours. That's crazy. But apparently it became like a real sore spot. Apparently him and Ryan Reynolds got into an argument about it, they're saying. Now, Amazon came out and they were like, no, Dwayne is awesome and everything is fine. If he was late, it was like maybe an hour and it wasn't that serious. I'm like, okay. So we're covering for the big dog. I got it. Like, it's cool. Look, The Rock is doing a lot of things. And I saw somebody who was a bit of a bootlicker, in my opinion, online being like, well, he's a very busy guy. All right. Then why'd you take the job if you can't
and
do it?
Don't make commitments, right? Don't make the commitments, bro. Don't make the commitments. Like, it's one thing to be like the hardest worker in the room, but like if you're half-assing your work, like, what's the point, right? Does this article have
or inconveniencing tons of people because they said they had to shoot around him, right? Because you just
Like, look, is this rumor or is this like someone reporting this?
No, someone reporting this from the Wrap. I just put the Yahoo Entertainment story because the Wrap story you have to pay for. So fuck that.
All right. I mean, look, I'm not terribly surprised. The guy's been told that he's the best guy. He's the nicest guy. He's like, it's like when you call people geniuses and they get it into their head, right? Like, and like, I know we talk about The Rock a lot, but we kind of talk about him in a negative way because I'm disappointed.
Right. That's literally it.
I like The
Should be
Rock,
better.
man.
Yeah, you should be better than this. You know
I
that.
wish he was better. That's all. Like, does this story have the whole pissing in bottles thing?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, no,
Yeah.
yo.
It was also noted that Johnson often peed in a bottle to save time while filming. I don't know, man. If you got there on time, you'd probably be okay. Like, you could just go to the bathroom.
Yeah. You don't have 2 minutes to go to the bathroom, bro? Like, that shit is gross.
Also, you're not washing your hands. When you're doing that, you're not washing your hands. You're peeing in it and going, all right, who are you handing this bottle to? Because you're not, if I work for you, you're not handing it to me.
Right.
Hey, take this. It's like, is this that shitty energy drink you sell? Is this Zatoa? Is this it? Like, no, get out of here. No,
nah, man. Nah. Like, it's again, you can't say that you're the hardest worker in the room if you're doing half-ass work. That's it. You make commitments, you stick to them. That's all. Like, I want this dude to be so much better. I want this dude to be like he is trying to be a jack of all trades and master of none. He is the personification of that idiom.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, if you focused your talents in acting, you could be a better actor. I've seen you be a really good actor.
Yeah, like when you actually are focused. I agree.
When you're focused, if you focus your talents on football or being a businessman, I'm sure the UFL would take off, right? If you focused your talents on purely marketing, I'm sure they would be selling, your shampoo or whatever in every store and not just like Target or whatever, right? Like, I don't know, man. I just want this guy to be better. I want this guy to be better. And he's playing the capitalist game. He's playing that George Clooney game, but I feel like he's doing a little too much. And I just wish he would slow down and focus on either creating art or making money.
Can't do both.
But not both at the same time, right?
It just doesn't
create
work.
Good art leads, right? Creating good art could lead to good money, or focusing purely on business and just kind of pushing art away, like you pushed away wrestling after 7 years, right? Like,
right.
Fine, but I just wish this guy was a little bit, and stop pissing in bottles, yo. I don't give a fuck. That doesn't make you look fucking cool. It doesn't make you that guy. It doesn't make you. It makes you look nasty. Your nasty ass.
Well, like, I guess for me, all I can think is why are you trying to do so many things at once? You got wrestling, you got, like you said, the football thing, you've got the movie thing, you're doing, you're working on not just being wrestling as far as like being in the ring, you're also working like behind the scenes, like in some parts of the production, I assume too, like some of the
he's on like the board of directors, and when he comes back, he will have whatever input he wants, right? Because like nobody's gonna say no to him. And he's got all this products, right? He's got the shampoo, the energy drink, and he's got like 2 other products.
Why does he have a shampoo? What the fuck?
Exactly, because he's bald, yo. He's bald. He don't have facial hair.
Yeah, he don't have a beard. Like, you listening to this dude for? Like, get out of here. I should have a shampoo, like half a bottle. Like, that's it.
Right. There's a reason Troy Polamalu has a fucking shampoo and not The Rock, yo.
That makes sense. That dude's hair is laid. What is he putting in there? Like, it looks incredible. So yeah, I just don't I don't understand the desire to have to do so many things. And like you said, you could be a better actor if you just focused on that, or if you just focused on the acting or the business side or the WWE stuff. Like, just do one of those. Like, what you miss in the Clooney thing is when Clooney was doing that, he stopped acting. Like, for the most part, he just stopped acting. And then when he was done and he sold all his shit, he would do a role he wanted to do every once in a while. And that's what he does. He wasn't trying to crank out 6 cheap, Chinese finance bullshit action movies a year. He wasn't doing that. Like, because he had I'm going to do this thing. And he did. Just do that. You're just making a bunch of shitty, watered down products. All of it.
I mean, look, this guy's a football guy, man. Like he's a football guy, and and an athlete. And athletes, when they are the great athletes, are singularly focused, right? Like you think about Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and people like that. Like they are singularly focused on their craft. The Rock's craft is making money, and that is what he's singularly focused on. Yeah. And look, I'm not mad at anybody trying to make money. Like, we live in the society we live in. Get your money. But yeah, man, it just, I don't know. I'm just disappointed, man. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it feels unbelievably unnecessary to be doing as many things as he's doing all at once. All right, human pile of trash gets another chance in society. Harvey Weinstein has his 2020 rape conviction overturned by a New York appeals court.
This is wild.
Don't talk about people being canceled. Even this piece of shit can't be canceled. God should have canceled him years ago. On Thursday, the court found in a 4-3 ruling that the judge in the Weinstein's trial, a landmark moment in the Me Too movement, that the 2017 allegations against him started, had shown prejudice by allowing women to testify about allegations that were not a part of the case. The court has now ordered a new trial. And then the article goes on to mention things that he's done in his career, which I don't understand why you bothered to do that. Oh, he's an Oscar award-winning producer. I don't care. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant at this point. This guy was a rapist or is a rapist. Yeah, people know who Harvey Weinstein is. You don't have to be like, and then he won for Shakespeare in Love. One, why are you tainting those movies next to his name? Please don't write Good Will Hunting next to his name. I'd be like, don't do that. Fuck that guy. So he will remain imprisoned as he was also convicted of rape in Los Angeles in 2022 and sentenced to an additional 16 years in prison. However, Weinstein was acquitted in the Los Angeles trial on charges involving a woman who testified in his New York case. Weinstein's spokesperson said in a statement, quote, "We are cautiously excited." Fuck you. He still has a long road ahead of him. I hope he dies in prison. Because of the Los Angeles case. We are studying the ramifications of the appeal right now. Weinstein's lawyers will be holding a press conference, blah, 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 blah. So, quote, we reaffirm that no person accused of illegality may be judged on proof of uncharged crimes that serve only to establish the accused's propensity for criminal behavior. It's an abuse of judicial discretion to permit untested allegations of nothing more than bad behavior that destroys a defendant's character but sheds no light on the credibility as related to the criminal charges lodged against them. That does make sense. I can understand that. At the same time, fuck Harvey Weinstein. That's all I'll say about it. So, you just can't flush a turd, man. Some turds just will not go down.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of sad, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. This is
next time. Don't do that. Don't bring in these other witnesses or whatever. Just don't do that. Just go after the shit that you got hard evidence on. Just use them, please. Because I know they were probably we're going to nail this guy. And then they got too fucking loose with it, which is the problem.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, it just absolutely sucks. Yeah, it's funny how people don't really come to Harvey Weinstein's defense, right? You say something about another actor, they're trying to take someone down. Nobody is they're trying to take down Harvey Weinstein. People are you should take that guy down with a blow dart.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right, man.
You know what I mean? It's just like, but it's funny how that works. Like, I've never heard a single person being like, "But what about Harvey Weinstein? Are we sure he's not innocent?" No one says that.
Yeah. Right. People have been saying it on the sly. I remember Seth MacFarlane alluding to it on an award show.
I absolutely remember that. He was barely alluding.
Right. He mentioned like something about like a casting couch on like the Oscars or some shit. And people
laugh like, ha ha.
Right. And yeah, man. Like, come on, man. This is fucking ridiculous. All right, I can't look at this motherfucker, man.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break before we get into What the Fuck, brought to you by JTD from the Edit That Out podcast. Okay, look, side note before we go into What the Fuck stories, shout out to JTD. He was on our latest episode of Black on Black Cinema where we reviewed the movie Origin. Somebody said in the comments, "Oh shit, I thought you guys had Dion Cole on the episode," which I thought was pretty funny and somehow accurate. But go check that out. We had a great time having a very serious discussion about that, and JTD was awesome on there. All right, Micah, take it away.
For many of us, rat meat ranks pretty highly on the list of things we wouldn't be caught dead eating. But in this region of
rat burger,
it's a pretty good burger. I love that movie, man. I might rewatch the movie. That movie's so fucking dope.
It's so fucking stupid. It's a great
film. That movie's so fucking dope. I love it. I love Demolition Man, yo. It has been in this place. It has been long valued for its exotic flavor. I don't think that rats are exotic in this location, but okay. And alleged medicinal properties. However, in recent years, stalls selling rat meat and dishes containing it have all but disappeared from local markets, except in one place which still sells both raw rats and rodent broth cooked in an assortment of vegetables and spices.
India.
How dare you? Each bowl of rat broth contains a whole field rat and sells for 100 pesos.
Oh no. Where? No, that doesn't mean it has to be here. There's other places that have
pesos. It's there, buddy. It's there. It's in Mexico, buddy. It's in Mexico. Oh God, there's a picture. Jesus Christ. There's a picture of this broth.
Eating a rat burger? If there is a future where criminals are being unfrozen from the past.
Nope. I will again.
On, that's just a skin rat in a bowl of vegetables. That's crazy.
Right, like a fucking like a ham bone just sitting in there for the flavor, yo.
That's wild. That's wild.
Like leaving the bone in for the greens, yo.
Yo, where is this? Where is this, Mercado Republica? This is unacceptable behavior.
No, this is gross. This is gross. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm being rude to
no, you're not.
Culture, to your culture. I'm being rude to your culture.
We don't claim this where we're at. We don't claim these people. No, we don't claim the rat eaters. Now, where is this? How far is this from me? Woo, pretty goddamn far. All right. All right. I don't need any of this. San Luis Potosi. Okay, cool. I don't.
Oh yeah, that's very far from you.
Yeah, good. Stay over there. Stay over there. Like, no, thank you. God damn. Yuck. So you're not. Now, I understand not wanting to have like your suit with a side of rat. I completely understand that. But you're not trying a rat burger? You want to try a rat burger?
No, I'm not trying a rat burger. You know, I love Demolition Man because I am fascinated with fascism in fiction, and I would be up there, high-fiving without touching and using the 3 seashells like a civilized individual.
Wow.
You and Dennis Leary can eat all your rat burgers as much as you want.
Yeah, but I'd be down. Down there smearing Jello on my naked body, singing "I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener." Like, I do whatever I want.
I would.
What a horrible
I would
image.
be up there. I will be up there in the most fancy of restaurants eating Taco Bell.
Okay, well, guess what? You'll be shitting yourself like a fucking animal. You're gonna need those 3 seashells. Yeah, that's this is not an ideal way to present this dish. I have to tell you.
Nigga, that is gross. That is gross.
I would not eat that. I would just.
It's a rat carcass in a bowl of broth, yo. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
They didn't even try, yo. They didn't even try to just throw this shit in. Like,
cut the head off, man.
Nothing.
Like,
they didn't get the 2 forks and dice the meat up and like just put it in there. Like, all right, like we can't even talk about this. Nah, just put the rat in, my nigga. Like, come on, man.
God damn. Imagine serving a turkey with the whole fucking head on it and shit, like
just dangling off the side of the bowl. No, that's wild. That's a wild choice. But look, shout out to them. They're not playing around. They said, look, you want rat? They're gonna give you some rat. It's not for me. It's not for me.
Get out of here.
This restaurant puts cicada salad on the menu. And look, again, just right in the bowl, right? Like, it's just right in the bowl. As a nation prepares for trillions of red-eyed bugs known as cicadas to emerge, it's worth noting that they're not just annoying, noisy pests. It's if prepared properly, they are tasty to eat.
Nope.
This is in the United States. I would like you to name the state.
I mean, it could literally be anywhere because especially now.
Let me see if I can find out like how they prepare it, because that will tell you. That may give you a clue.
Like, we're getting ready to get hit with 2 different swarms of cicadas up here. Something that only happened in the last time this happened, these 2 different breeds came at the same time, was something like in the 1800s or some shit.
Yeah, fucking all that.
Yeah. Us religious folks call this a swarm of locusts, which is one of the signs that the world is about to fucking end. So
yeah, y'all should probably make sure y'all vote the right way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy. So this one place has a legal clearance to serve wild-caught cicadas. The owner gets his permission while he works on lining up sources for the bugs. He expects this spring's unusual emergence of 2 huge broods of cicadas to heighten interest in insects in general. And in the insectarium, even though the affected areas don't include this state. Quote, I can't imagine given the fact that the periodical cicadas are national news that we won't have guests both local and from outside of the city asking us about them, which is another reason I hope to have enough to serve at least a few more times. Where in the United States do people just eat wild shit? If you had to guess.
Wild good shit or just wild
shit? Like, these people love food in this place. They love food. They'll eat anything.
They'll eat anything. I mean, the default is Florida, right? Because
no, they're just crazy. Think about this is a. I'll give you a hint. This is a food city.
I mean, the only food city that I know of, I don't want it to be New Orleans. I don't want it. God damn it, yo.
It is.
God damn it.
It is, in fact.
What are y'all doing, yo?
Because down by the bayou, they fucking fry up everything.
What are y'all doing, man?
Have you ever
I
been to
love
New Orleans?
food. I love New Orleans
Yo,
food.
it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of cicadas got in there. Don't worry about it. You be all right.
Yo,
Dude, the times I've been to New Orleans has been some of the best trips in my life. I absolutely love that city.
yeah,
And
I told
see
you
why
I've been to New
obesity
Orleans.
is a fucking problem down there.
I told you I went to New Orleans because we were on Bourbon Street and some woman propositioned my wife for a threesome without me. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck, yo?
Can I be there? No, we already got two working here. Like, we don't need you.
Right. Man, you better get the fuck out of my face. Yeah, I love New Orleans. New Orleans is fun. And for a teetotaler like me, like,
Still
yeah, you go there for the music and the food, man. I don't need to get fucking sloppy drunk like some goddamn tourist. No, yo, this is really, this makes me upset, man. This makes me upset. Fucking New Orleans has really good food, man.
Well, then maybe this is good, and maybe you should stop being a fucking stop being a bitch and come on.
No, I'm gonna be a bitch about it. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I don't blame you. It does not look appealing to me at all.
I ain't even bugs, yo. You gotta present something. Something gotta look appetizing, man.
Yeah.
And
This ain't it.
All right. This ain't it.
All right. Trailers this week before we get out of here. Mufasa, the Lion King. This is the prequel live action film, live action of sorts, to the regular Lion King movie. But this is following the life of Mufasa. Quote, Mufasa the Lion King enlists Rafiki to relay the legend of Mufasa to a young lion cub, Kiara, daughter of Simba and Nala. With Timon and Pumbaa lending their signature shtick. Told in flashbacks, the story introduces Mufasa as an orphan cub, lost and alone until he meets a sympathetic lion named Taka, the heir to the royal bloodline. The chance meeting sets in motion an expansive journey of an extraordinary group of misfits searching for their destiny. Their bonds will be tested as they work together to evade a threatening and deadly foe.
No, I'm not watching this.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you a bit of information and see if it changes your mind. Did you notice who's directing this?
No, I didn't. Who is
Barry
directing
Jenkins.
it? Oh, Barry Jenkins. Barry Jenkins is directing it.
I got to give it a chance. I have to.
Look, if you can get these animals to emote a little better, then I would give it a chance.
Did you see the live action Lion King?
I saw clips. I saw clips of it. Look, from what I've seen, it is a 1-to-1 translation of the animated movie, but it's worse because the animals don't emote.
Yeah.
Like in the cartoon, it's a cartoon, so you can have very expressive, facial features and stuff. Like when Mufasa gets trampled to death, you have that image of Simba in your mind as he sit right. You have that image in your mind. Doesn't translate. It did not translate. And it's just like, all right, he just looked like